Let me unmute myself.
Or Extreme or whatever you're using.
No, I think it should be. If we should be good now. I think. Fingers crossed. I think I might have done this for the first time in a way where everyone can hear
Hey,
us.
hey.
Look at me. Look at me. Trying my hardest.
I'm still in the spare room here, so
You're still in the Oh no. All right, let me.
I
I'm going
know.
to post our updates. Yeah, everyone.
Yay!
Everyone is shocked at at you. I don't know. They're gonna blame. They should blame me. They should blame me for all of this. It is entirely my
Final. I
fault.
finished the book, by the way. It was really good. Thank you for the recommendation.
Oh, neat.
It was good. Yeah, I don't know. I always worry though. So anyway, the book, by the way, is the Bad Blood book about Elizabeth Holmes. And
Ooh.
when you read it, when I read it, I don't know. Maybe this is where was she that bad?
Oh,
Like, she obviously thought she was going to deliver, right?
I don't know. I mean, this is actually stuff you know that I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, you read the news, you know what she got in trouble
Yeah.
with, and yeah, she was scamming people, right? She said this machine could do this thing and it couldn't do this thing, um, and then so she just keeps over promising, but it feels like she thinks she's going to deliver. She just gets another 6 months, you know, she just gets another couple of million, billion, however many, you know, however many ridiculous sums of dollars she needed, right? That she would get there, right? She just needed to keep buying that time and the breakthrough would happen, right?
I mean,
And there's many people who've been in that position and they're not wrong. And I know the WRC is nowhere near the sorts of sums or damage that you could do to other humans. However, people still paid €400 for that event. That's a significant sum of money,
yeah,
right?
but the
And
problem is that they actually started doing, and this is
oh
maybe a
yeah, yeah.
very
I'm
popular.
not dealing with patient safety, right? I'm not, you know, diagnosing people with cancer, obviously.
But she wouldn't be in trouble if all she did was sit on the money and say, "Surely this company will work soon. I'm sure we're going to get it done soon." The problem is, she went out and she said, "We're doing it. We can do tests on our miracle machine. We can get you real results. Send us your medical samples."
Yeah,
That's
I
where
know,
you get
but
into
then
trouble.
I know, but how many? You know, I sat there and I was like, you know, pay us the money for WRC. Please sponsor us for
But
WRC.
then WRC like happened, right?
I know, but there are definitely points along this journey where it wouldn't have happened, and maybe I resonate a little bit with Elizabeth Holmes
No,
because,
no, no,
but
no,
I I think the difference really is, you know, what I was doing was a board game, you
no,
know.
no. The difference is
Do you not
that
think?
at every state along the way, the intention is to deliver WRC.
But her and
There was no point at which you sat down in the board meeting and we sat down in the board meeting and we said, "Well, what are we going to do? Everyone wants to come play mahjong, but we don't actually have any mahjong." And we were like, "I know. We'll just sit them down at backgammon tables. It'll be fine."
I have had a dream like that though.
Like we didn't bring everyone all that way and be like, "Okay, guys, well mahjong's not here, but we got backgammon."
But as I say, like, you know, like it was really, I was getting, you know, because of the logistics at that time, you know, the logistics for the last 12 months have been nightmarish. You know, I couldn't source the sets at one point.
But again, she and her company straight up said, "We are going to tell our customers that we are using our miracle machines to give them
Mhm.
accurate test results and take their medical." And this is medical. It's something they can't be expected. It's not our customers can tell if they're sat at the backgammon table and say, "Wow, backgammon, this sure isn't what I want." But her customers were told, "You're getting the magical medical machine. Here are your accurate test results," and getting back garbage.
Yeah, but I guess maybe I can see it's a slippery slope, right? It started off with her best intentions, and she sort of was just like, we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it. I just need just a little bit more time, just the right
Yeah,
people,
but
and the miracle machine.
no,
And
it's not
maybe
a
because I
slippery
stood on the
slope.
top of that slippery slope and just sort of, you know, put a foot down and then managed to pull
So
myself back up. Maybe because I fear. And Fire Festival was not. I mean, how many times did I watch that documentary before
But again,
2017
yeah, they're right.
and worried
Lionel's
that
right.
I was doing Fire
If
Festival?
Fire Festival had just straight up said, "We can't deliver, we're sorry, we're bankrupt now, goodbye," it would have been very disappointing, but not
Mm.
legally fraudulent. That's the difference. Companies
Okay.
do fail and go out of business all the time, and they have to say, we're sorry, we tried, we failed, goodbye. But that's not defrauding someone. Because as long as you can prove that you earnestly tried, you're generally pretty safe. But when you start saying, okay, I'm not going to tell my customers that I just failed, I'm going to provide them something fraudulent they didn't want and didn't pay for, and maybe even could harm them,
I know the
now
harm
you're in
bit's
trouble.
really,
And it's
really
and a
devastating.
standard I remember years ago I went to this meetup with this guy who was like, oh, we're doing a new startup. I was at Google, so I'm going to do a new startup. I got millions in funding, and we're going to do automated AI photoshopping. So when you post something on Instagram, you send us your image, and like we're going to use AI to automatically Photoshop it to make it look better and do all the things you like to, and then post it, and you'll pay us for the privilege. And I was like, I don't really know if that business model is going to work, but I'm really curious about this advanced AI you have to do the images. What is this cool advanced AI technology you have that's going to know what I like to see in my editing images? And he's like, yeah, well, we haven't really worked that out yet. So we have a bunch of Photoshop artists locked in a closet, and we just pay them nothing to do the work. And I was like, okay, so this is the same thing. This is our genius startup with our brilliant technology, but we don't really have it yet. We haven't really worked out the kinks. But in their case, they were able to find some way to provide a substitute that the end user could say, okay, I still got what I paid for. But this is the same thing, right? She's like, oh, we got our great new tech. Okay, we don't really quite have our great new tech. It doesn't really quite work anymore. We were way ahead of our skis on this. But you've given us millions of dollars, so I'll figure out how to just give you something, right? Because that's fine. That's what we do in Startupville. We just give you some crap and assume that it'll be like good enough for you until we can work out the real thing. But that's fine until you run into the brick wall of the medical field
Yeah, yeah.
where you have obligations to people ethically.
You see, I would say that Tesla was a good mirror of people who lie and lie and lie, and people still buy their product.
Yes.
And
But
but
Tesla was still able to give
I
people a car that didn't
maybe,
kill them.
maybe, and I'm not saying I'm a successful person. Obviously, I don't make money or anything like that. But maybe because I can see that kind of that mentality you have to get into to deliver something like WRC. That sort of you have to sit there and tell people, oh yeah, it's great, we've got this thing lined up, and you when you know that half of the stuff is not lined up and
Oh,
you're
I
not
mean,
sure if you're going to get
sure,
lined
but
up, and you're just kind of cobbling it together desperately and crying at night in your sleep,
well, then you must feel real bad for Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, do you know what? I do a little bit. I can see how you get yourself into that situation. He was a gambler, wasn't he, though?
I don't know if he was a
He was like,
gambler.
do you not think he thought he'd just he'd managed to make the money back, or no one would find out? He gambled on not being caught. And I'm
You
pretty
could
sure
say
it
that.
started off as a legitimate fund, right?
I don't know. I don't know how legitimate he started off in his own mind. I mean, he was a well-known legitimate trader. Like had done a lot of business on Wall Street before.
Mm.
People knew who he was.
I
Um,
think I think that it's a very, very rare situation where someone sits there and is like, do you know what? I'm going to start a fraudulent business enterprise. I think most people start with good intentions and then they get themselves into a hole, a spiral that yeah, and from the outside we go, yes, of course you can, yes, just stop and say you're bankrupt and get out, before you do any more harm. However, it's not, she wasn't there on her own. She had a whole laboratory and employees of people helping
well,
her cover up this
she
great
also
fraud.
had investors, and this is what I have a little more sympathy for. She had a group of investors pushing her, saying, "This is how you do it. This is just what you do. Go ahead. This is fine. You're the brilliant woman founder. You can do this. It's fine. You just lie to everyone. Just push it forward and go." That's bad. Her enablers deserve punishment as well. And Bernie Madoff, I do actually understand. Yeah, a little lie becomes a bigger lie gets to an out of control lie. I have some abstract sympathy, but at the same time, you have to know there's a point at which you're defrauding people.
Oh,
The point at
yeah.
which you're taking your new customers' money and giving it back to your previous customers to keep your numbers right, and you think, oh, I'll just iron it out. I'll just iron it out. I'll just fix it. Like, you gotta.
Maybe this is my imposter syndrome coming out, that often I feel like, I'm asking, yeah, WRC, people spend lifetime sums. Lots of people who come, that's what, that's money they've saved for years, right?
I mean, sure.
They've decided to come to WRC rather than get a new kitchen for the house or whatever. And every time I say that, all I can think of, oh geez, I hope I'm not gonna fuck this up. I'm
Right,
not
but again, there's a big difference between I hope I'm not gonna make a mistake and fail, and surely these people will be okay if I take their money and do something else with it. Because I feel like that's a wildly different thought. Oh no, I hope I don't fail. Failure is not what we're talking about here. It's not failure. It's failure that turns into fraud because the person who failed can't say, I failed.
But Fire Festival, I mean, come on, that was before 2017. You must have watched it and gone, "Oh no, is are we the
Yeah.
Fire Festival of
No,
Marjok?"
no. Because there was never a point where I was like, wow, we sure have nothing. We sure have nothing we promised, no ability to deliver anything we promised. And like we're a destination, so people are going to fly all the way here and find literally no things for them. Let's go ahead with it. If Fire Festival had just said, sorry everyone, we failed, we're bankrupt, here's as much refund as we can give, goodbye, they wouldn't have been in the news.
Right, but I think that's where you're like in their heads, their rationale in their heads is not that they are not delivering. They think they're delivering, and I think Elizabeth Holmes thought she was delivering.
How,
I think those
again, I'm
people
going to continue this argument.
when
How
those
can you
people
think
came
you're
when those people came
delivering?
to Fire Festival. Okay, I think when those people came to Fire Festival, the people who were doing the organizing, and I use organizing in the broader sense of the word, they believed that these people were going to have a great party.
Wait, the
Just
people
because they
going to
were,
Fire Festival?
pardon, the people who were organizing Fire Festival thought that somehow a great party was going to happen. It was going to be like
Did
a
they?
Woodstock moment.
But
I
again,
think they
but
did.
no, no. How dumb do you have to be like
You
we
have
have none of the lodging, we have none of the food, and we have none of the act? Like no, that's
Oh no,
negligence.
no, okay. But how dumb do you have to be to buy Twitter and think that you're going to do a good job of it
That's
without any
all these
experience?
things are. You're just saying more negligence. I'm
No, I
looking for
just
a
think
game
that
euro,
these.
by the way.
I think that these rich people are inherently inept sometimes because
Sure, but to be fair, Elon Musk ruining Twitter is not a fraud situation. It's just a dumb idiot situation.
his Teslas might be a fraud
It's
situation,
possible,
surely.
yeah. But like that's the thing. What you're talking about is fraud. When you promise people something and you
No, no.
knowingly give them something they didn't ask for or
But
don't
so
deliver.
he charged people, was it $8 or $9? I don't know, for the check mark.
Sure,
And he didn't deliver it.
sure. Which means that, yeah, they have the right to say I was sold this and I didn't get it. Yeah, he's possibly defrauded them. Although that seems much more about capricious whimliness of like, well, I want it. No, I don't want it. Make the feature, cancel feature. Than him being like, we can't get the check mark to work, so we just didn't give you the check mark. Sorry, bye. Like,
I feel like there's, and
I
I
don't
mean,
get.
those things are, there's lots of little factors, but I can see how you get this crazy ass perfect storm, right? You get a woman
No,
who
no,
believes she can deliver somehow,
no.
and you get a lot, and then more and more people sort of start buying
Again,
into this crazy
and
idea.
I see how someone can get sucked into a life of crime and end up killing somebody, but there's still the moment when you have the gun in your hand and you have to be in your head cognizant. I am about to pull this trigger and kill a person,
Oh
and
no,
you can
I'm not.
do it
Okay.
or you cannot do it, and it's the same thing with fraud. She
I,
knew the moment she said, "Let's have Walmart deliver our tests. Let's go live. Let's go public. Let's tell people they're using our machine that they are not using." That is the moment of committing fraud. And there's no way she was not aware of it or so confused she didn't realize what she was doing. And it was her obligation to say that's fraud.
I know, I agree. I'm not going to argue she's not criminally negligent. But I don't know. Maybe I
How
just
do I
worry
get
that it's
a
the
log
kind
out
of
of
dumb
10?
shit I might do.
Well, you got to know.
Anyway,
I mean,
I
that's part of the
got a book at
responsibility.
the moment, people, so people need to recommend me a new book, and
How do I
I
get
like.
a Tenho log? Like now I can click on Tenho logs and view them, but I can't get the link out.
They literally couldn't make the mark. I don't know. The illegal and threatening confidentiality agreements. I mean, that's across every industry, right? Every NDA, the confidentiality agreements are mostly not. You can't implement many of them, but then it doesn't matter, right? Because what matters is who's got the most money to take it to court, and that inevitably is your employer. I still don't think there's an appreciation enough, certainly in America, and sometimes often in the UK, less so on the continent. I think that that there is a power imbalance between an employer and an employee. I think there's an American idea of like, is it right to work? Is that what you call it?
We do call it right to work. It's gross.
Like it kind of gives an idea that the employee is enjoying some sort of equal partnership, but it's not true.
Yeah, I mean the idea with right to work is that like the idea is there's unions. I am by the way looking for a game log that I cannot find.
Well, I think we're going to finish off the one we did last week, no?
We could do that. Yeah, let me get to
Oh,
it.
I don't mind.
Do you have one?
the big take is that you take people's money, you do first keep people updated on what's happening, and second, don't lie to people. Yeah, I mean, again, I can only pull from WRC experience, and keeping people updated, like, that's tough, because even I think possibly most of the time only I have the full picture, and that's partly by design because I want to manage all the stakeholders, right? I want to manage everyone so it actually comes together. And sometimes if they see, if someone sees quite how hairy it is, maybe then it will cause the thing to collapse. I don't know, maybe I'm sounding even worse as a human here.
No,
Oh,
it's true. It's
ah.
true. It's hard. It's hard for people to understand the secret sauce and to look at the secret sauce and like know what it is. And it's hard. It's hard to deliver. But again, I still feel like there's a line. There's a line that you have to be
Mm,
aware of as
mm,
to we're managing expectations. We're trying to put it together versus we are going to defraud people.
mm.
We are going to deliver people something that is in no way what they paid for. We're going to effectively take their money and give them not even something they don't like, but just not the thing we promised in any way.
Mm.
Again, if WRC was an event where people showed up at a hotel and they were told they were playing canasta, at that, I mean, maybe that happened
They
through
might
some
have a better
accident.
time.
They'd have a right to say, I signed up for a mahjong tournament and I paid for a mahjong tournament and I want my money back. And
Mm.
I think we even still maybe be in the clear if we give them their money back. But then we
Yeah.
still cause them to like there's a point where you have to say we're not doing what we said. And things like, oh, well, you showed up to WRC and the food wasn't as good as it could have been. That's not fraud. That's fine. Like you got to know. It's true. It's a little bit like pornography. I know it when I see it, but it's like it's got to be reasonable. There's got to be some
Yeah, and
reasonable
I just
expectation.
don't think I don't think one day Elizabeth Holmes woke up and was like, I'm going to commit fraud. Instead, they were little tiny sort of, over a long period of time, little what felt like rationales that slowly led to,
Sure,
oh, I'm
but
committing fraud.
I'm still gonna say that this is not a cooking the lobster situation because there's that big red line. Let's tell people we're doing their tests. Will we be actually doing their tests on our machine? No. No, we will not. This is fraud. This is the easy one. This is the big easy one you should immediately recognize, wow, that sure is fraudulent.
Mm.
That's the thing. This had a big easy line. This wasn't like there was some obscure regulation and she was trying to do it a different way and it turns out that regulation she was on the opposite side of it. Like that's all rational. Even though again with a company like that you should have lawyers telling you all of this stuff, briefing you constantly about it. That's the other problem. I know any responsible company this size has a world of lawyers
Yeah,
constantly screaming
but
about this stuff.
but that was the thing. She had a world of lawyers. What
And
she had
she
this that
chose to
famous
not
one.
listen to them.
No, she had that famous one. Oh my God, what's his name? I can't. Is
Johnny
it? I
Cochran.
can't pronounce it properly.
It's not Johnny Cochran.
Boys Schiller.
Boys to Men. Was it Boys to Men?
No, Boy Schiller, I think, is the one. I'm definitely mispronouncing that. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I guess they represented Harvey Wine. I'm not sure how to pronounce it for
Harvey
Americans.
Weinstein? Is that another person you feel bad for?
No, but I don't know. When I glimpse into these people's worlds, maybe I understand more than I should
Well,
how
here's the
they
thing.
get themselves into these situations.
No human being is an anime character. No human being shows up in life to say, I know I'm evil and I'm going to do evil stuff because I'm evil. You could probably feel very bad for Harvey Weinstein, to be honest. You'd probably get in his head and
Mm,
find someone who was so sad and lonely and felt so bad about themselves that they felt like the only way they'd ever get any attention or affection was to use the only thing they had, their power and influence, to take it by force, and some rationalization of why that was okay. But
mm.
again, just like fraud, there's a point where you have to be like, no, this is sexual assault. What I'm doing is just wrong. It's
What
not
about when he
okay,
was
and it's
assaulting the
over the line.
pop line? That's
The
still my
bottom line-
favorite.
That's the point where you should be like, this is weird and sad. Like I got problems.
Yeah,
But they're people
That's,
get pushed all kinds of ways in their lives, and I think it's good to understand them and have some
mm.
sympathy for them. But there are still red lines where we have to know that what we're doing is just not okay. It's just something you don't do.
Yeah, I feel like I prefer Anna Sorokin because I just felt more ballsy. You know, what was it? She's taking rich people's money, and
Well, you just don't mind the target. You think the target is fine to
no,
hurt,
but
which is
she didn't really. I mean, who did she hurt there?
Exactly.
You know,
The victim is her, right?
she was getting investment for a thing again that she thought she was going to do. She legitimately was going to put that money into the business.
But then she obviously didn't put the money anywhere near the business.
No, she never got hold of the money because the banks never approved it in the end, which was inevitable. The argument is the banks wanted to argue that they were going to give it to her and therefore it was fraud. I'm like, but you didn't give it to her, so it's not fraud.
No, if you're going to give someone something contingent on a fact, and that fact is completely not true, then they're attempting to defraud you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel it happens so much, but we really like obsessing with these females who do it.
Oh, we love dudes who commit fraud.
I mean, but no, I mean Elon. People seem to genuinely believe he founded PayPal or he wrote PayPal, and he founded Tesla and all these other things. But he
Oh
didn't
yeah,
do
I'm
these
baffled. I'm
things.
baffled by the Elon. It's a separate issue, but I'm entirely baffled by Elon worship. Elon worship.
But then that's all. He's just done the same thing. He just lies and.
Yeah, he just lies about things that he is not necessarily hard liable for. Saying like, "Oh yeah, I
Anyway,
sure did more
spoke
work on this
35
project."
minutes about my book review and my
Seriously.
yeah, and fake medical results and
Yeah, that's the
incorrect
other
medical
thing.
results that end up in genuine like that kind of human
And you know,
pain.
yeah, and it's not like she didn't know medical results for what she was performing. That's the thing. You know, going into that industry, what's expected of you. You know.
Right. But you got to remember, she had all those little laboratory people doing it as well.
But she would have been entirely innocent if one of the lab people came out and said, "You know what? She never knew. I told her the machine worked, and I was under a lot of pressure, and I said this was fine, and she never knew that it wasn't what we said it was, but she knew and she approved." Well, again, why are you angry about holding leadership responsible for the mistakes they oversee?
No, I'm not. And it's more that it's just baffling to me that you can get hundreds of people on board with this fraud.
Do you
Hundreds
feel
of
bad for
people
Nigel Farage?
why
I'm sure
feel
he was
bad.
sure the UK would be getting $1 billion back for the NHS, or £1 billion back for the. I'm sure he was certain that was true when he told you all to vote for Brexit. Oops, it didn't happen, and I feel so bad for him just getting swept up
no.
in his own
What I'm
rhetoric
saying,
like that.
well, I find it interesting that everyone in that company was committing a little piece of the fraud.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I know, but then that's fascinating to me. I don't know how do you manage? She must have been very charismatic. How did you convince people to risk their professional licenses
And
on
that's an
producing
interesting.
faulty
Yeah,
medicine?
how does the machine? Well, it's because a company becomes the environment you live in. You know, you spend 8 hours a day at this company at work, and culture is very impactful. And when everyone feels that the culture unilaterally is, we just
Yeah,
don't talk about how the machine doesn't work, it does become like a community thing where everyone kind of like, just abides by what they see. And again, when that comes from leadership down, the leader of our company
yeah,
is doing this and saying this, it makes it more
that's why
acceptable for everyone else.
cultural audits are important, and whistleblowing laws. I don't know if America has whistleblowing
We
laws.
do. They're not as great as they should be, but
That's
they're better than nothing. All right.
yeah,
Let's
whistleblowing is
let's
important.
let's talk about some
Right, yes, Mahjong.
Dave plays high stack. This is what Gemma says I'm bad at. So Dave plays high stack. This is the same game we did yesterday, or last week, I should say. I won my Yakuman early in the game. Hooray for me, very lucky. And now it's South round. And I have a lot of points. And the question becomes, what do I do?
Well, I really want to talk about the player to your left, Cisan, because
Oh
I've
crap!
got thoughts on what they should do.
Yeah, it looks like they might get a revenge cookie here from this start.
I was just glancing, and that really just jumped out at me. I was like, "Wow, someone has an opportunity for
My dealer also
revenge."
has a very strong start here.
Really? See, I don't like that. That's too messy.
The 3344 is great because it's a good Ipeco base. We got 667. We got 78. we got potential man flush if you really want to stretch, but you can see if that happens. But you also have a lot of pinfu shapes coming together pretty quickly with good starting chunks.
I know you've got that Dora. The
Yeah, the
shapes
Dora
aren't
might
all
have to
that
go.
great. I don't know, and I fear what they're going to try and do is push it into a flush because that's what people try to do with deep starter hands like that.
They might.
They're
They
like,
might.
all right, it's a flush, and it's not a flush. It's, you know,
No.
you've got a 7-8 there, which is a great sort of waiting shape for an eventual pinfu, and you have a Dora, which isn't in the suit for the flush. So no, don't flush that,
The
please.
benefit here is you have a hand. The I might end up throwing the Dora in this hand because, not immediately, but eventually, because I'm in last place. It's my last deal of the game, and I have a
Oh,
potentially
yeah.
fast hand. If everything comes together real quick, I'll take the speed over the value, and I'll throw the Dora probably as like my reach tile for like reach Pinfu, maybe reach
You
Pinfu
see, do you know
Anya.
what? It's funny here. I would probably be thinking, you know, I know you said that 3-3-4-4 is an Epego base. It's just, I mean, Epego's just bullshit. Like
What?
that's the sprinkles. You don't go for it. Like if it's offered there, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll put the sprinkles on, but you don't go to the
No,
store
no, I'm
because of
I'm here. I'm not the one on the right. I'm reviewing from my seat.
yeah, yeah. But I'm saying like I would even think of cutting that 3-4 and seeing if I can push it into a Tanyao, Dora, Pinfu, maybe Sanshoku.
The only reason I might agree with you is because I also have the 6-7, and the problem with having
Yeah,
the 3-4 and the 6-7 is that they overlap on the 5. So that makes
yeah,
the three
exactly.
fours like Ipe base a little bit less exciting because I need a 2 or a 5, two twos or 5s to make the 3-4 into Ipe,
Yeah,
and 1 5 or 7 to make the 6-7 into something. So like it's a little bit occupied. So cutting
yeah,
it down into 3-4-6-7 is maybe a little sane. But let's see what
yeah.
happens. Let's see what they
Yeah,
choose
so
to do.
player in East, please don't go for a
No, we're talking about
flush.
the player on the right. Yeah, I don't have the door. I got no door. I got acceptance of a door with this 2-3.
Yeah, I mean yours is fine. There's nothing like but this with your situation, I hope that you make sure you have an exit strategy here.
Oh, let's see. Let's see if I do or not. All
And
right.
player opposite, I mean, player opposite's just got sad times there. I think that hand's just garbage.
Yeah. So the dealer hurls the isolated 9 pin, which makes sense. Player
That's
opposite
fine.
trims the west. Player left throws the
Is
7 pin.
it
So it
fine?
looks like. Hmm?
No, I'm not. I might have lingered on 7-8-9 Sanshoku just a little longer and tossed the one man because there's no loss for tossing the one man.
Oh, I see. Out of the dealer's hand.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a 6 and throw the 2 because I'm like maybe flirting with 2 toy. Out goes the Dora. Dealer has decided this is a flush. Um,
Dealer, no.
nice draw for a cross. Gets the
And
8 in.
if you're going to do that, throw the four of bamboo anyway. You know.
Player
What
left
if you
has.
do?
Yeah, the 4 bamboo is a better hedge. Player left has identified that they might be getting something very exciting, so they keep the 30s. And I call the 5-6-7 because I have no time for this. And throw the Haku.
That's aggressive, Dave, but I'd support it here.
Dealer gets the 5. Now throws the 4. So yeah, they're going for that flush. Player
Or
across gets
maybe
their
I'm
3, 4,
wrong.
5. Actually, player across is actually Ishan 10 right now. They've gotten 2 effective draws, and they've turned. And it wouldn't be a great tempai. Oh, 1 in south though is a little tricky. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, they've got something.
Yeah, but South is a double hand for them.
Yeah, so they probably want to call it. Keep the 3, throw the 8. Throw the north. 2's thrown as drawn. They throw the 8 and keep the 5 pin, probably because they feel like 5 pin is more buildable around for a
Or
solo
they,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And it accepts the Dora, so that's good. Throw the 4, keep the 8. Throw the 9. They're keeping dealer keeps the hots because they're really pushing this flush. 8 so out.
Each.
This is now a reach. So this is a reach waiting on 3-man only. This is a strange reach because it's reach nothing.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I like it because I think it's asking it's asking the players on the table to say show their hand. Say, are you gonna play this game? Are you playing this hand?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me now. Um,
On a sumo, it does, I believe, it becomes 2 and 30, which is only 2,000, which doesn't quite get them back up over 3,000, but it sure gets them close.
I mean,
It,
they're second place anyway,
yeah, they're
so
already second place, so they kind of want to push the game along because everyone else is far enough beneath them that they have to panic or push.
yeah.
Pardon me. 1 pin, 8-man is safe, so I might as well throw the 8-man. I throw the hots because I just do not care. Here's the 9, so poor dealer could have been closer to ready, but they throw the 9, so 8-man's out. Oh, God. Player left. Throws the 5-man because at this point, they are reasonably close to Kokshi. They've got east, south, west, the 3 dragons. There's 2 norths on the table, and north is what they still need. And then they need another 1 and 9. But they're
Ah,
making
you'd
it
have to
happen.
go for it. Yeah.
Their tiles are still very live. They don't know that. Well, even the 1 pin they have. So hey, they got it.
Yeah.
I throw the 2 pin because Suji's all I got in this hand. Um, yeah, like Suji on the door tile, I know is not guaranteed safe or anything, but like 2 pin's all I got to work with based on the rest of these tiles. I guess I have the 5 if I really want to just bail.
Don't. Yeah.
7 so out. So now all the 3s are now hoovered up, by the way. I've got 1, and the dealer has the other 3. So all the 3s are now on the table.
Hmm.
Player left has decided that they want to be a little safe and throw an east. They don't want to just deal in.
They're probably quite worried about the man suit now.
And this is the point where I get spooked, apparently. And I'm like, there's no reason pointlessly throwing into second place. And also, if second place wins, this moves the game along anyway, so I'll let someone else do the work here. So I'll just throw the very safe file. Once I got to here, I guess these are tiles I haven't seen at all, and I'm just like, I don't like it. So I throw the 5. The hots. 2 comes out of the reach. Alright, this player is just like, this is a weird move because I feel like if you were going to throw the 3, you could have thrown it earlier. If you felt good about throwing the 3, you could have thrown it earlier and kept the 3 easts and had like all honors as something that was even possible. Like if you're getting that big hand feeling, you should just go for it. Because now you've eliminated a possible big hand.
Yeah. You must be spooked. I don't know, yeah.
Like if you thought like nothing has happened to make this 3 seem safe. So if you thought it was safe last discard, you should have probably thrown it. And if you thought you were bailing with the east, you should have probably not risked it and just continued.
Difficult. Can't. There's probably a reason.
Maybe. I throw this 9. Why did I throw this? Oh, because the 8 came out early, so I'm feeling okay about this 9. Which lets the dealer throw the 9.
See, I feel like this 9 bamboo is much more dangerous than that 3 bamboo because, the player on your left, they could have easily been going for a flush there.
Maybe. I wasn't getting that vibe. The east is what threw me out of that. Because I feel like if they have a 6 tile full, like, seems a little much.
I don't know. I think the 9 bamboo was quite a risky discard from you.
What was I thinking? I was thinking I'm betting this 8 early was isolated is what I'm thinking. And not a trim down.
Right, but it's the player on the left that you've got to be wary of the bamboo. They've not thrown a single bamboo. They've been just tossing all these inner tiles on from the 2 other suits, and then they toss the bamboo.
And then they toss an east.
Right, exactly. I'd be like, oh wow, they must be having a bamboo flush. A bamboo flush would have to be a bamboo flush, or a full one or a half one should be on your radar. I mean, we can see it's not, but that discard pool suggests that it's a possibility.
Well, here's a 7-man now. This makes it clear that it's not. Haku comes out.
Yeah, at that point, then you can be like, okay, well.
See now, player left now is in a very interesting situation, and it's very sad that they threw this east. Because they have east, south. Like, they have a lot of exciting things. There's 2
it's
norths
almost
on the
sad
table.
that they threw their pair of 3 bamboos. It could just be a cheat toy.
Half-flush cheat toy even, yeah. This is a tough hand, though, because, like, it's easy to say that in retrospect. It's a tough hand to suss out as you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I got the 4. So now I'm willing to risk the 1 and be like, I'm not going to just sit around and do nothing. Which is a bit of a risky play considering player right, but it does incorporate the 3 into my hand. I'm starting to get the vibe this is an early reach with a bad weight. Here's west. And player left doesn't call the west. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, probably that's a smart... Again, this is one of those things, are you bailing or not? If they weren't bailing, they'd have 3 easts, they could call for 3 wests, they could call for 3 souths. Like, if they weren't bailing, they have a potential Yakuman here, but it is a big push.
No, you can't, at this stage in the game, halfway through, you cannot be calling that many tiles. It's just not going to work. And what he's got right here, right now, is still a potential Kokushi and a potential Chitoi Honroto.
Yes.
So I'd say go call. Calling the
All
rest
right.
would have been a bad idea.
So it looks like he's instead going again. This is a rough play.
Ooh, I
Chooses to
wouldn't have done
throw the
that.
West. I probably would have thrown the 3-pin at this point.
Yeah, yeah. This is probably a hand worth having a dream on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but that happens. I throw the 6 so because 9 and 3 have come out, so why not take a chance on love? I also haven't seen. I know where all the 2 so's are, so this one is actually relatively safe. So I might have wanted to throw that
No,
instead.
no. If you think there's a coxie on the table, obviously it's not safe.
Oh yeah, that might be it. That might
Yeah.
be weirded out by these. So this throws
I
three.
think
Now we have 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6. So this is not yet Tenpai on the full flush.
I was wrong, Mr. East. You should have gone for a flush. You obviously did it.
Oh no, they get the chun. Oh no, and they're now kind of noodling around the Kokshi option, which I can see why you would do that. But this could have been all honors, like straight up
Wow,
all
I'm
honors.
I still think Chitoi Honroto is more likely what you'd have had.
Would have well, that would have been very possible as
Wests
well.
and Souths. Yeah.
I get another 5, and I'm just throwing the 6 to safe. So I'm kind of noodling around with how I feel about being safe. Dealer throws the 5. Here's the third Haku. Here's the Dora. So we decide not throwing the Dora, going to slim down on the chun. I am sad because I threw my 6s from the 5, 6, 7, but I already know 7's safe from way back when. 6-pin comes out. East comes out.
I'm not
2-pin
sure.
comes
I'm
out,
not
but
sure. I'm not sure something can be safe from way back when. It's becoming
it's
gradually
safe on the
dangerous.
reach.
Yeah.
Again, I'm pretty sure the dealer has been folding. Although they haven't really been folding, but they've been pushing along with a lot of safe tiles. But if they are folding, the dealer definitely wants, or rather, I'm sorry, the 7-so is safe on the reach. The 7-so is safe on the dealer. This player to my left is doing something weird, but I don't think they're Tenpai because they keep changing their hand and throwing stuff out of their hand, and I'm like, why? It looks like they're taking apart a Kokshi at this point. So
Yeah.
like, I don't have much reason to be worried about this 7-so.
That's a good assessment. Yeah.
6-pin just came out last go around. I'm fine with that. At this point, I think I've resolved myself to escaping this hand and not pushing this hand.
Mm.
4-so's fine. 2-man's fine. Here's your north. And but again, these reversals baffle me. Now the 3-pin comes out. The 3-pin
Yeah.
is like you could have been getting rid of these things a lot earlier, and this is the commit. And I've had this problem. This isn't a personal
I think the
statement.
3 pins come out though because of the 6 pin, right? And if you were
Hmm.
reading the 5 pin reach, it could easily have been a 4-5-5 dropping the 5 would
This
make
could
the
still be a
3.
1, 2, 3.
Right. What I'm saying is the 3 pin would be dangerous according to this discard situation.
Yeah, it's safer now that the 6 is out, and you know it's not 4-5 waiting on the 3-6.
He's reading a discard situation, and I think that's. But I don't think the way he's been discarding is necessarily wrong. I think his assessment of the power and the potential to turn the game around for him has been a little bit too conservative. If that
Yeah,
makes
that's the other
sense.
thing. Like he doesn't have many points. They don't have many points. Like they need to make points now. Like now is the time. They have to do something, and I'm sad because this hand had a lot of opportunities to do something.
Hmm.
The 3 comes out. I get my 5.
I mean, Chiad, it wasn't just a Yakuman. That was an interesting hand to play. I think he could have taken it several different ways, but he couldn't I don't know if it's a here. This player couldn't commit to maybe. I think just a little bit maybe stronger heart. Kokoro might have. Yeah.
All right, so I'm holding the 1-so and throwing the 5-so that has been safe fairly recently. 5-pin comes out. 8-pin comes out. Another Dora, and they just throw it.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, maybe this is the point where they're just frustrated.
I don't know. I'm
like-
just trying to look to see if there's something on the table that makes it feel safe. You see, you can't see.
I see 2 6s out. I see 1 7 out, and that's it.
You see, okay, but you can see 3 2s, so it's unlikely to be a 2-3 weight. You can see three
You can see
fives.
3 5s.
So it's unlikely to be, and you can see what, two sixes. So it's unlikely to be a 5 6. He could just be really, really good at reading discards. Probably so good that it's weakening his ability to play his hand, if you know what I mean.
It's possible. I mean, this again squeaks you towards Kokshi.
Uh,
They are now Ishanten on Kokshi.
yeah.
So maybe they're just like, I'm Ishanten on Kokshi. It's happening. If I draw what I draw, I'm gonna throw what I throw. Because yeah, this is pretty much ready. All they need is a 1-man. And or a 9-pin. And
Yeah.
there's still 2 9-pins live in the universe. And as far as they can tell, there are still 3 1-mans live in the universe, although in reality there's only one. So
Hmm.
maybe to some degree this is it. I'm Ishanten on Kokshi. I'm not backing down.
Hmm.
Risky throw, but all right. I can see
Yeah.
it. I just continue throwing the 5. Dealer gets the 5, and now dealer takes the
I'm,
tempai. Takes this tempai. 1 2 3 3 3
yeah.
4 4 5 5 6 6 7 9. They take the 8-man only tempai when all 4 8-mans are out on the table.
Yes. Why not the? Why not?
I'm trying to think of what's a better weight isn't important much as safety. I don't know because this dealer needs to win. They need to win,
Right. Well,
and
you
they've
could
put
have waited.
themselves
You
in a
could have waited
situation where
on
they can't.
the.
But
You
wouldn't the
could have waited.
7-man be a better choice?
You could have waited on the 9 man. No.
Yeah, if they're throwing the 7-man, which is hard safe against the reach and safe against a cross and not safe against me, gives you the weight on. Isn't that like
But,
you get 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 9 9?
but anyway, what do you? My argument is to throw the 1 man, waiting on the 3 or the 9 man. The 1 man being very, fairly safe because you can see 3 of the 3s and 2 of the 2s.
Okay, that's it. Okay, the 1-man is definitely is safe on the reach and safe on me. And then you do wait on. You have 2 3
You wait
4
on,
3 3
yeah,
4
2
5
for
6 5
4,
6 7. So it's
yeah,
waiting on the 3.
and the 9.
Yeah, one of those becomes 3 of a kind. So you wait on the
Yeah,
3 of the 9. Okay, that's one way to do it. My thought is to throw the 7.
I, I, I wouldn't like to throw. Would I like?
The
No,
7 is hard safe against the reach. It's safe against the
two.
player across. It's only not safe against me, but I've been pretty visibly folding.
But then you're waiting. So you're waiting on the 3 and the 9 again, then,
Yeah,
right?
it ends up being the same weight, I think. No, isn't it the 3 or the
I'm trying. I
6?
hate. I don't like looking at it on the side.
Yeah, it's a 3 6 9 weight if you throw the 7. Because it's 1 2 3 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 9 9. And so you can either get the third 3, or you get the third 6, or you
Yeah,
get the
no,
third 9,
yeah.
and it's Ipeko in both situations. In all situations. So it's dealer Hanemon locked in 3-tile weight on a safe discard.
7 man, yeah, and Chiral points out as well. If you were worried about Kokushi, 7 man's the better one. Yeah,
That's also true, yeah.
I think 7 man. I think Dave's right. I think
Dave did it.
Yeah, Dave did it. Dave. But how you managed to read that on the side, I don't know. You'll have to teach me.
I'm halfway decent at these things from doing it. I'm not as good as some other people are, to be fair. And these hands are tricky. Like everyone in the audience, total admission. These hands are tricky. It is not easy to decompose these things. I've done it a bit. I usually try to do my method. Usually involves like pulling the string out from the side. Like this 1 2 is like the dangling string. It cannot be anything but 1 2 3. So I can kind of like lop that off. And then when I see like 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6, that's Ipeko and a pair weight on either the 3 or the 6, which is great. And then the pair of 9s. Wait. Yes, the pair of 9s.
I'm not even like, looking around for a tile set to do this in front of me. It's much easier when you've got the physical tiles as well, though, right?
Yeah.
Because then the story slowly builds up rather than looking at it just yeah.
Interesting. Player left throws the Dora again, which that's a really risky play, especially because the dealer just changed his hand. But wait, let's give player left some credit. Dealer has discarded no man tiles until just now when he discarded the man tile. Are you going to discard a man tile if you don't have to? Probably
He,
not. You know the
he,
4 is safe on the reach at least. You know I didn't grab it when you last discarded it, so
but
maybe...
he doesn't have any draw left, right?
Yeah.
So he could just throw in the 9-man.
That's right, he's not Tenpai. He could have just thrown the 9-man.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get Tenpai.
No.
Oh,
And
yeah, Door is hard safe on the dealer. So, no,
yeah,
the Door is safe on the reach and the dealer. Maybe that's fine. I
yeah.
didn't realize... I forgot the dealer threw that Dora so early that makes a previous Dora throw also a little bit more sane.
Yeah.
And that's it, end of hand. Dealer's Tenpai, 2 Tenpais. I'm not Tenpai. I did not... I mean, I could have actually won this hand if I pushed it into the 5, 6, 7. Like if I'd known everything that was going to happen, I probably could have won this hand. But I didn't feel like this was the hand I needed to push. It just didn't... I don't know. It didn't feel good to me. For Tanyao. Tanyao garbage to move the game forward, potentially dealing into someone's reach or something. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. But unfortunately, that means the game extends. The dealer continues, and I lose 1,500 points. Sucks. And now we have this incredibly inauspicious high pie for me. Player across has an incredibly auspicious high pie for them.
Yours is gross, though.
Yeah, mine is not cool. Dealer has something
that's even worse for some reason. Well,
Dealer
it's
has
even
an
worse.
annoying high pie I hate. It's like, here's a bunch of garbage and 2 Dora. Make it work. And I'm like, and the door is a turn. You can't even Tanya this. Like, the door is a terminal. Get wrecked. Please do wish me an auspicious high pie. Yeah, this is a rough spot. A rough spot for our dealer here. And player across is a hand that can just call out real hard. Double south, half flush, Mongon, done. So this is their game to win right now. Looking at these high pie. So the dealer throws the west, keeps the 8. Sure. Great first draw for across. Throw the west. I'm throwing this isolated 1. Keep the 1. Looks like they're considering something Chanta-y, something edge-tile-y. Not a bad thing to think about. 5 comes out as drawn, which is probably going to open my eyes a little bit. I hope. 9 so comes out. 9, I'm just trimming edges because I have no... I'm keeping this mess because these are kind of my safe-ish outs. These 4 honors on the right, and I'm just kind of seeing if I can get the rest of the hand.
The west in particular is a nice exit tile.
3 man out. 9 man out. 2 man out to hold the 7 man with the 6, 7. Oh, I got the 5. Okay. Oh no, I throw the 1. See you later, West. I think I remember playing this and thinking I probably should have held that West and thrown something else. But I didn't. 1 man becomes a pair, I guess, for maybe Chi-Toy potential and maybe safe tile potential. We got 5, 6, 7 here. Our player left is getting a lot of useful draws.
Boom.
I'm throwing the East, which gets called. But I'm not unhappy about this. Oh, wow. Player left gets... Oh, player left is actually in a pretty good spot right now. Because they're Ishanten.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I'm calling this 2-pin because I'm like, all right, my hand's good enough that I'm just going to pressure. I think my strategy here has been I just need to pressure the table as hard as possible until someone does something.
That's not a bad strategy.
3 out. Here's the 8 and 7. This is a risky business here, but I am now Ishanten on the bad 6-9 weight.
The 6-9 is like, why is 6-9 a bad weight? Oh no, it's 3-10. That's why. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now this player's ready on Tanya Nomi on the 6 only. I'm sorry, Tanya Ipeko on the 6. Would I have done this? Because you could just go into reach, waiting on the 2 or the 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, why not throw the 6?
The reach on the 2-5 leaves you with Tanya Ipeko on the 2.
I mean, you don't have to
actually,
reach
it's Pinfu.
You don't have to reach it. You can just throw the 6. See if
And
you
just...
can improve your pair situation.
You don't even have to, because this is still Pinfu Tanya. This is Pinfu Tanya, maybe Ipeko.
I know, but let's say you want big points, which you might want big points.
Well, what would be the improvement in this?
Well, if you got like the 8-pin, then you could, and then you could throw the 2 bamboo and have the Ipeko for sure.
Yeah, but then you lose Pinfu. Oh no, I see what you're saying.
No.
But then you lose Pinfu. Yeah.
No, you don't. If you draw
Oh,
another
if you
eight,
get another 8-pin or a 7-man or a
yeah,
6-pin or a 5-man
yeah.
or something that shifted a little over. Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of potential here to get a pair, which would mean you definitely get your Ipeco. Or you could
Yeah,
even draw Dora.
that's actually true, and turn that into your pair and just be Ricci, Peco, Dora, Dora.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah,
I,
this is a strange.
I'd throw the 6 and not reach and see where it went.
I would have loved that. I would have loved to grab that 6.
Pump.
The 2 gets ponged by player across, who's decided they're just Tempai now. They're Tempai on the 1 in the south. They're not going to be greedy and go for the half flush. They'll just take double south, which I think, I don't know. With a hand this close to a flush, I don't know if I would have done it. But I would have also held these 1-sos. I would have been, if I'd been playing for the flush from the beginning, I would have had it.
Yeah, I know. I like it.
I think it was weird to step away from the flush. I think like way back, like here.
Pump.
Like throwing the 1 side of this pong, I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have said right here, I'm calling. If I'm calling, I need enough value. I might as well flush right here, and throw these 1-mans. Like holding on to these 1-mans as a pair when you could probably make your pair happen elsewhere. Especially when you have 5, 6, 7, like you 4, 5, 7. You can cheat these out. You got a 2-so pair. You got a south pair. Like probably I would have committed to the flush here.
Yeah,
and then when I drew the other one here, I'd be awesomely happy.
People know you must have a Yaku somewhere else because you ponder something which doesn't give you a Yaku. So
yeah,
it's not like you can fake them out that you've not got a flush.
Well, you also can't win
on
the 1-man. So now you're also in a situation where you can't win on half your weights, and if you draw that 1-man, you're going to be real sad.
Yeah. Even at this point, I would have thrown the 1-man, I guess. But,
Oh, but I throw the south. Wait, I throw the south, and they pong it.
This clock definitely thickens.
I think they've decided Toy Toy is what's going to happen.
Interesting. I would not have thought about that. And that's pretty ballsy because you can already see one of the 1-man. And if you were going to do... You're just rewinding.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, they're not. I'm sorry. They're not Tempai. This is my problem. They're not Tempai at all. I'm just totally misreading because now I can't read tiles across. They have 4, 5, 7.
Oh.
They have 4, 5, 7. So they're not Tempai. They're not able to win right now.
Oh
so they pong it, and now they're ready on the 3, 6. Okay, I'm just dumb as heck.
Okay, well, if they were going to do that, they should have been ready on the 6, 9, because the 9's more likely to come out. 3, 6 is less likely to come out. You should definitely, if you're going to make that sort of cut.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm wildly dumb, and I missed it.
No, wow, I also saw it as well. So.
But again, they could be sitting here with 2 more Han if they'd held those 1-sos, if they'd committed to the flush instead of holding on to these 1-mans for no good reason. But now they have double south.
Down.
Open out. North comes out. Hots comes out.
See, look, there was the Dora. They had the Dora.
Yeah, you're right. They could have been in reach on the Dora.
They could have thrown the 6. They've not reached anyway. They could still have done it.
Oh, you're right. They still could have done it. They still could have thrown the 6. And if they'd thrown the 6, I would have called it to get Tempai on the 5, 8, and then everything would have worked out different.
It's not about you, though, is it, Dave?
It is about me. It's all about me. Well, the hand would have ended differently.
2 Dora, Ipeco. They could have reached. I would have been glorious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there's a lot of. I feel like people. I don't know. I mean, I'll be blunt and maybe a little rude. I feel like people don't have a lot of experience with this hand management, with like understanding how to get the most value they can out of the hand they have and not missing these things, because they get really tunnel visioned on I'm gonna make this.
Waiting on the 6 is a weird one, and yeah, I don't know.
It's an ugly weight. But again, people have these ideas. A pair weight is bad, is what they think. A pair weight is bad.
But you've got a pair weight.
I know. But that's the thing. But they want probably to extend 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, something that's going to be a 2-sided. And again, they get in their head, especially early on. A 2-sided weight is the good weight. If I don't have a 2-sided weight, I don't have the good weight.
But it's not even a safety move because all the players have thrown out a 3 or a 9 or both. So the door is a dangerous throw, especially considering our friend opposite us here.
Friend left rather of that player.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a lot. That Dora is a rough play, especially like this, because they already have the South. They could easily be just waiting for the second Dora to get, double on Dora 2, Mongon.
Yeah.
Which drops you into last. Yeah, it's a really risky throw. I think people get very tunnel visioned on what they think their hand should be and where they think their hand should go, and are not in an accepting posture where with every tile they draw in, they actually think, what could I make this into?
There's not like some weird
there's no personal judgment here.
No.
That's part of why it's anonymized. It's not about personal judgment.
There's not like a Mahjong Soul meme on 6-man or something, is there?
I don't think so.
Is that what? Yeah, I was about to say, I should check on Twitter to see there's not some.
So this ends up being something great for me. I love it. I pay 800 points to move the game on. Cool. I'm fine with it. Player cross gets 4,000. They're still pretty far away from me, so I don't really care. So overall, I'm happy with this outcome. Now I'm a little nervous because this player has been making moves, and now the player who's been making the moves is a player who's dealer. So I feel like we got to be a little careful here. Make sure if this player actually gets pushed off of dealer. But unfortunately, this high pie is pretty great. They've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, chun chun, east, north, 2, 3, 3. Like this is a great high pie for them. Player right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, all in pins, 2 east. This is actually, both of these players have aggressive flush high pies. Player left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, north. Player left has some good stuff, and I've got just crap.
Yeah, so Chiro makes a good point that comparing yourself when you're level-headed and comparing yourself in a match that you really care about, those are two very different. And yeah, Dave, you desound on purpose.
No, it's just how the link worked out. I'm playing in an anonymous browser window. I think Skype adjusts the volume automatically. I'm sorry. Whose volume has been jumping?
Is it? Yeah, let me check. It's not mine. There's a setting, isn't there? God, why is Skype such a piece of shit? Elon, can you buy Skype?
North out of the dealer.
Where
7, 8, 9. Sanshoku being thought about here left. They throw the west anyway.
Right, it's not automatically adjusting now. So
dealer gets a hot, so now they have east, east, hots, 1, 2, 3, 5. Dealer is in a good spot. Or I'm sorry, north. They're not dealer. I apologize.
It's Dave's fault. It's Dave's problem. It's not my problem. Whee!
Wait, what? I've been doing what for weeks? Having my volume jump up?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Is your microphone set so it's picking you? Is it directed at you? Mono direction?
It probably is where I am ends up having a big impact, and
Yeah.
Well, I need to do some experimentation with this.
So it's directed at you. It should be alright.
It is directed at me, but I think it's that I'm really close to the gain zone. Occasionally, for a tenth of a second, becoming twice as loud. All right, you know what? I'll do some just straight up recordings later, and see what's up with that, because that's a little weird.
Right. We are on a... This is how long it takes to review a game, though. I mean, we had an hour and a half on it last week, and now we're going to have had a good hour on this week.
All right, I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Okay, maybe that's better. Really minor weird. Yeah, that is really weird. If you notice it, can you clip it on Twitch? That'd be kind of cool too. All right, so 7 so out for cross. Chun gets played and called by the dealer, who's just rushing. East is played and called by that player. Thank you. I know I'd love to see it, because any technical difficulties I want to resolve. 4. So the dealer is Ishan 10 right now. I get a 6 and throw the 1 which has just come out. Oh my god. So player right here is Tenpai on Haku and Hots for half flush and dragon, which is pretty sick. It's nice, but it's actually
I think you're going to pay it.
I might.
It's really quick.
No. The dealer ends up paying it.
Well, I mean, it's so quick. There's not much you can do for that.
No, there's not much you can do to avoid it. I think my strategy when playing in this situation, in this type of player group, is often to throw the Hakus and Hotses early. and this is mean, but I'm going to say it. The intent there is to cause other players who are just like, I just need to win, I just want to make a winning hand and aren't focused on how many points they need to call the dragons and make quick, cheap hands by opening early. So a lot of times, I'll like throw it out as bait, and someone will be calling hots, and they'll make like hots door one, and be like, yeah, I want a hand, and I'm like, yeah, fine, 2,000 points, have fun. In this case, this was a beefier hand.
Dumb.
This ends up being 3,900 points, which is still a little less points than I'd want to be getting in their situation. But like, I'm not sure how much better I could have done with these tiles.
I mean, I'd be looking at third place in this situation now. You've
Yeah,
lost your
and this brings them up to 11-8, which is really close. They do have the ability to leapfrog into third. So this is not a bad. This is overall definitely not a bad play for them. I might have dreamed of more points, but this is kind of the hand they got, and they made it happen.
It was so fast as well. I mean,
yeah, really fast. There's no.
You're not going to be like, oh, I won't take this then.
And now I'm happy again. I paid nothing, and the game advanced around. Good for me. The player I was nervous about lost their deal. Good for me. They lost their points. The player closest to me lost points. Good for me. So overall, this ends up being very good for me. So hey, that's awesome. I didn't even have to do anything to play high stack. Haku comes out. I got a 4, 5, 6. This hand, I feel like I have some stuff. I have 4 sets. I have Dora. I might be playing this hand. One man comes out. Although again, player across 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8. Like they've got a lot of material here. Player across. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, Itsu is right here. It's pretty much Itsu time for the dealer.
Yeah.
Throw a Haku because it's dead. Throw a 1 so. Here's the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Again, it's almost Itsu time for everyone right now. This is nuts. South comes out. 2 pin's gonna be my pair. So now I'm 2 Shanten, so I'm like, okay, this is happening. 8 pin spot for 2 pins. South comes out. West comes out. 7. So this is now 4, 5, 5, 6. All right, but I don't know. I feel like I would have kept the 7 for the 7, 7, 8 and thrown something like the 1 or the 9 here. Just in terms of like little things to deconstruct.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
Interesting. Well, now we do have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, which lets them get to Tempai a little better, but
I would have liked 1, 2, 3 Sandshoku.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick. Tune out for the 2 so. Here's my 7, 8, 9. Hots is out, and now I'm Ishan 10 for just Pinfu. And I'm kind of disguising it here by throwing these tiles. I don't want to throw this 5 so right away.
Well, the problem with you holding that 5 so is Suji on the Dora, and
yeah, and that's why I now swap the 5 so out for a safer tile to hold. I'm not getting the vibe anyone's Tempai right now, but I'm thinking, yeah, let's just not. I can throw the 1 pin when I get ready and be happy. Or actually, no.
Itsu.
I might have been also thinking of Itsu as a possibility, yeah. Everyone's thinking Itsu this hand. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. All right, keeping the 1 as a pair is probably better than the isolated 3. Sure. Here's the 1s, but I don't need the pair. Now the isolated 1 comes out, and it looks like this player is holding the north as a safe tile. Here's the 8s as a pair. And this is again, I think it looks like someone's saying maybe a flush.
With the 8's the Dora.
Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have, but now we were probably going to trim down 1, 2, 3 to that anyway, right? We probably were going to trim the 1 or the 4 out of that anyway. Although I might have gone with the 1 here, because if you do that, you do have the ability to call your way into a Tanyao, Dora 2, Dora 3.
I would have kept the 2 pin, so I'm already sad 4 discards ago.
Yeah, no, I would have thrown the 1 because the 2, the 6, or the 8 all let you call to Tempai by throwing the 1, and it becomes Tanyao Dora 2 or Tanyao Dora 3, which is a solid enough hand and gets you back above 30,000, which is really what you're worried about. Because again, catching up, not to be full of hubris, catching up to me right now is tough.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to do it. Yeah. So it's more about, oh, awesome. Thank you for the clip. I will look at it when I'm done. But,
yeah, I'd probably feel the 2 bamboo, to be honest. I don't felt comfortable.
Oh, no, I would have thrown that 1 man. I would have said it's time to get ready to get to Tanyao.
Well, I would have kept the 2 pin, and Yeah, I wouldn't have held that 2 bamboo. I'd be in a different position already.
Yeah. This comes out. 8-man has come out. This comes out. East comes out. 8-pin comes out. Everyone's not getting what they need. You can tell by watching. 7. Here's the 1. 4. Yeah, everyone is not. Oh, here's the 6. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we don't have the final set or pair. So we're getting real close to Itsu here. Here goes the 9. Now we have 3, 4. We have 3, 4, and 7, 8. The North comes out. 2-man goes away. Now we're Tempai on the 5-so. The 5-so I wisely got rid of earlier. For... Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're Tempai on the 2, 4-so. I apologize. I'm dumb. For Itsu. Just Itsu.
It's nice. Yeah, I know, but if you draw the 3, then you can change up
Pinfu Itsu,
again. Yeah.
Yeah, taking the Tempai is smart.
Each.
So now this player goes into reach.
Taking the Tempai and not reaching is smart.
And this is a strange reach. This is reach Ipeko Dora 2. With a weight only on the 3-so. Of which there are still 3 visibly available. And 2 actually available.
I don't think that's weird. And also in their mind they're thinking that and it might be true, it might not be, depending on people around you, but that 6 bamboo will be a Suji trap. I will reiterate, reaching is not a Suji trap.
Okay, so this is what happens this hand.
Chase.
It's
yes,
a reach
chase.
from player 1. It's a chase now from this player.
Love
and
it.
Now I get my 6, and I'm like, let's do this. So I'm like, if we're all reaching, we're all reaching.
Chase, yes.
Because this is also a 3-6 pin weight, which is a solid weight. 3 safe on one. This is a minor trap because 3 safe on one of the reaches. 3-6 has not come out at all. So I'm like, fine, yeah, let's do it. Reach pin Fudora, let's do it. So this is me taking a bit of a risk, but I feel like with 2 players in reach, it's either, like the odds are fairly decent that I'll make this happen.
And the only thing is, I don't know. I wouldn't reach. I don't see what it's adding to you. You don't need to double your hand value. I just stay Dama.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But again, one of the other thing that I'm thinking here, and this is an environmental thing, is the way people play in this environment is they swing for the fences all the time. And that means when they win so big that they get like plus 80 out of one game.
Yeah.
If there's a game I'm going to get that done, it's this game.
I know, but you've got no Dora. If you had a Dora and you were going from 2,000 to 4,000, maybe.
I have a Dora.
Sorry, you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still.
So it's pin Fudora to reach pin Fudora and maybe a flip. So that's 2,000 to 4,000, maybe 8,000.
That's true. Okay. Okay. I'm still not sure whether it was worth it for you because you could have folded if you needed to. With those two pins, you could have folded them and you could still find yourself back in Tempai.
Kyrol, from experience, the answer is not really no. Based on the structure of the league and the way people in the league play, there are people not making Yakuman at all who are getting plus 50 to plus 80 per game regularly. Like, there are some challenges with how it's structured, and there are some challenges with the environment in normal at this point, I think. Because of that. So I'm like, I need more points. I can't afford to just not get points. So I reach. Poor player right, who has to deal with 3 reaches, throws a 9-pin, which is risky, and not, they could throw, why would I not throw the West? It hasn't come out at all.
Well, you've thrown 1.
Yeah. But only 1 9-pin has been thrown. I feel like I'd probably throw the West over anything here, but maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, and the West is your win, so it makes it a little bit more safe.
Very unlikely anyone's waiting on a West. At the same time, I might be safe. Yeah, and that doesn't block me from winning at all. 4-pin comes out. 6-man comes out. 8-pin comes out, but no one wants it. Now we throw the West, which again, it's like, if you felt like this was a good risk, you got pretty much no new information.
If you switch over, because after you've thrown the 8-pin, that means 3 8-pins have come down.
Yeah, the 9-pin gets a bit safer.
9-pin is a little bit not. It's not safe by any means, but it's still Then I'd start thinking, okay.
I throw the 9, so I feel pretty good about the 9, so because like
Well,
it
you
is
reached.
still Suji on the reach. I'm reach anyway, but it is still Suji on the reach tile. But the 9, so it's a Suji trap on the reach tile is weird, right? You're not gonna have, like, you can have what's it called, 2, 4, 6, and reach on the 6 for the 3, but you're not gonna have 6, 8, 10. So the 9 so's and 2 9 so's are out already from the other reach, so fine, cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, or not in this discard pool, but it is adjacent.
Comes out.
Is adjacent to the door, which you should always be wary of.
And then I get lucky, and player across draws and discards a 3-pin.
Dong.
So I win, and I flip Dora, so this becomes Mangan, so I get 8,000 plus the 3,000 from the table. So now I got even more points, and I drop my thing on the ground. Yeah. Right, so now I got a whole bunch of points, which is great. So now I'm up to 76,000 in South 4th, and I'm like, all right, this is a good time for Dave. And I'm the dealer. And this is where I'm like, I can't lose. Because... Was it Hanemon? It was just Mangan. Oh, Jigo couldn't Jigo That'd be a little rough. But, and so now I'm the dealer, so now I'm like, you know what? I can do whatever I want. Because if I win, I just keep getting more points. And if I lose, the game is over, and there's pretty much no way, short of an insane hand, that anything bad happens to my placement.
Right, so that was my question. It's not that if you win now, the game ends.
No. If I win, the game continues. So I'm looking at this hand, and I'm like, it's probably flush time.
Yeah, this one's flushy.
Nice
this one's flushy because you don't have a nice shape in one of the other suits. This is flushy.
Yeah, and I'm like, let's just be, again, I'm thinking, I'm the one in charge here. Let's be aggressive. Either I'm going to get where I want to go, or I'm not. Either people are going to, be scared, or they're not. But either way, it's kind of a win for me. So this is where I'm really going to throw my weight around and be like, I'm doing this. We got Haku coming further across. We got a Dora to the left. Also, I just keep drawing pin tiles. Oh, yeah, hold on. This is an interesting moment for me. Because I consider calling this.
When you start thinking about 9 gates, though? Oh, that one. Sorry. When you had the 4-pin, I was like, I'd be going 9 gates. This is my time.
Well, right here, I was considering 9 gates too. I was like, I don't know what's going on with 9 gates. Do I call it? But I'm like, I can't call it. It's a little too early, I think, for me to be opening my hand.
And also, by calling, you're not tidying up an awkward shape.
No, it doesn't actually help. It gets me closer to Itsu.
Yeah, but you'd be creating more awkward shapes.
Concerned about not giving someone a honeymoon. It would be. I have no desire to give someone a honeymoon. But like I'm gonna say that's still like kind of unlikely, especially because 3rd and 4th are so close, and 2nd is overtakeable by 3rd. I think 3rd and 4th are going to be desperately trying to make the fastest hand they can to finish the game and not lose anything further. 3rd might be concerned with overtaking 2nd. And 2nd is probably going to be trying to make the fastest hand they can to get the game over and not lose anything further. 2nd might be angling to get over 30, but it's hard to angle for a Hanemon unless you're just doing well. So I feel like I have a lot of comfort here in terms of where all of my opponents are. Sumoing a Yakuman is great. Oh, no, I didn't sumo the Yakuman. I'm sorry. Anyway, whatever. Having everyone else far below you is great. So I get a 4-pin. Flush is all coming together.
Your first will be smaller. His first will be smaller. And here,
at this point, I'm like, F it, let's do this. And I call the Pong.
But here, you're tidying up an awkward shape, so it's okay.
Yeah. And I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Like, I'm really fine here. I can throw this hots. Other hots.
Do you know what's really good about calling flushes? It's easier to read the weight.
Yeah, a little bit. The 7 comes up and I don't call it.
Again, because it doesn't.
Because I don't think it tidies up. Yeah, exactly. It turns a 7-8 with 9 as a pair into a 7-9 where I'm waiting on an 8. I'm like, this doesn't really help. I let it go.
No, and the only way you would call it really should be the 5-6, 5-6-7.
I can keep calling it 5-6-7.
Yeah, I still don't like it.
Now I'm sad about throwing that east, but whatever. We have a lot of just Here's an 8, which I, again, don't call, because I'm like, I don't think this actually helps me. But I will take the 3. So now I'm Ishan 10, which is nice.
Yeah, I
4
mean,
comes
now you can
out.
call anything, really, as long as it gets your
Yeah.
temper.
So now I'm just hanging out. Player to the right, what are we doing? Wait, why did they throw this 4-pin? They got a 7. So we have 4, 5, 6, 6,
Because
7, 7.
they want the Ipeco, the 5, 6, 7 Ipeco.
Yeah, I guess. Why not these 9 so's? If you're getting the
They
5,
might
6, 7 Ipeco, the 2-pin have become your pair.
no, you can pivot to a Cheeto if you need to.
Ew. That's still 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. All right.
It's Cheeto.
2-man they get
The
rid
worst hand
of.
ever just comes at you without, unbidden.
We're Ishan 10 here on the left. But we're Ishan 10 on what would become Reach Dora, a 2,000-point hand. Here's my 9. So now we have the 3, 6, 9 weight, and now I'm just hanging out.
That is a nice flush hand.
Yeah, this 4-pin just gets thrown, which I was like, ooh.
It's because you've not been calling them, and that's the good thing about not over-calling your pins.
I get a little sad because I could have just won on the South for less points, but whatever. It happens. South comes out. And now this 3-pin comes and gets immediately thrown because seeing I was doing an aggressive pin toss, they didn't make room for pins in their hand.
Well,
And then that's it.
They're at the bottom. I think they've got to go for it. So
I didn't feel like getting rid of that 4 accelerated anything. I feel like you should be thinking, because with this, you actually only need 1,000 points to get out of 4th and into 3rd. 1,000 points gets you 10,000 points in terms of UMA. So you just need to be moving. You need to be fast and done. And holding on to those 9 so's out of like maybe Cheetoy is not fast and not done.
Night makes the point that you were Ishan 10 before the 3-pin draw, by the way.
Before my 3-pin draw?
I think so.
Yes, Ishan 10 on the South. Oh, I see, yeah. Ishan 10 if I got the South or the Chun. And then I stayed Ishan 10 by migrating it over and throwing Chun. You are correct. And then I got this. But like here, I still say, you're not making Cheetoy. Like, you just have to, and you don't need Cheetoy. You need 1 Han. Maybe 2 Han. And in fact, you can get a second Han from the door that you can take into your hand, which is super smart. But like, you need to get this done. And that means Tanyao should be what you're looking at, because I'm not, if I've called 1 pin, I'm not slowing down. I'm doing something.
Index asks if Mr. Second Yakuman. No, Dave's just jamming.
No. I came close, but it didn't happen. Yeah, I got the 3rd 9-pin, and I'm like, oh, this was so close to 9 gates. But I never would have seen a 2-pin. I looked in the wall because I'm like, there's 1 2-pin out, there's 2 2-pin in this player's hand. The easiest 9S discard of my life. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like that 9S needs to go. You need to move. And if they done it, they would never have thrown the 3-pin. They would have had 2, 3, 4. They would have thrown the other 9-pin, and they would have been each on 10. They would have been ready to rock. It would have had 2, 2. Oh, it would have had 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 3, 4. So, like, this would have been something they could have built on and incorporated it. Really, and the only deadly tile for them at that point would have been the 9-pin. If they got it, because they probably would have had to throw that. But, yeah. So they throw the 2-pin, dealer Mangan, and now I get to go again. I'm at 88,000, and I'm like, all right. I'm feeling good. Let's see what we can do. And so we got 9. So what do we see around us? We see 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. This is actually really good. 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5. What's up?
I wonder how many people hated you this day. Rarely do you see that many points in one person's pool.
It's not that rare and normal. This is
really?
a big game. This is a big game, but it's we can talk. Let's talk about this afterwards before we sign off, because I do want to have a discussion about structure and what I think. But okay, so I'm throwing the 9. I have these 2 Hatsus. I'm like, again, I do not care. I'm just gonna play fast and see if I can keep going, or if I don't keep going, I win. There's no avoiding the fact that I've won this game.
Hmm.
3-man is even, I think, a Yakuman. Even a direct Yakuman Roan will not take me out of first place at this juncture.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there's no way I haven't won. Of course, I do not wish for a direct Yakuman Roan, but there's no way I have not won this game. So 3-pin comes out, and I don't know why not south or north. I think this player at this point might just be unhappy, and I can kind of see why. But I think we can talk a little bit about Mahjong feels later too. Here we go, 7-8. We got the north. Haku. I don't care about this one. 6-pin is just being thrown. So I'm not sure what their plan is. 4-pin. Okay, we're draining terminals and honors here to build middle shapes. 2-pin comes out to keep 5, 7, 8. So I guess 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku might be what's being looked at. Calling the Chun is being looked at. They also might be thinking at this point, I just need to end this and be done. Here I get my 6, 7, 8. That's pretty cool. 9 goes away. South goes away. We get 5, 6, 7. Interesting, we didn't take the 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku. But this does leave them Ishanten. Call the Chun. Can do it. 3, 4, 7, 8.
People
Boom.
might just be tired at this point as well. I
Yeah.
mean, we've taken 2 streams to go through this game. This is a long game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one. Actually, this is not a long game. There's only been like 3 continuances through the course.
I know,
of this
but a
game.
lot has happened. Like I feel
Yeah.
exhausted watching the dramas that have gone. You know, there's some of the games are just like that, right? It's not like there hasn't really been a bitty hand here, apart from I think
Yeah.
player on the right won that very quick value honor hand. It's been a lot of work for you guys on this table.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Now we throw north and keep the 2-pin. I'm not sure what the change in heart is for, but east. Yeah, this player's Tenpai on the 3, 6 man. 7, 8, 9, and I decide I'm gonna trim down, thinking the 2s will be my pair. I'll probably call the hots, and I might as well throw the 3 now while I can. But I throw the 3 into this, which is Chundora. I lose 2,300 points, and I am not sad to finish this game plus 76 with 86,000 points. Everyone else is underwater, so I get an extra 5k from Uma, which is nice. And yeah, -10, -20. The rest.
So did that put you up to the top of your? Are you like B?
I am not at the top of the rankings.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
But
Even
so
with two Yakuman, one after another in sessions, I am now second in the rankings by a short distance.
Okay. So have you had to play Armor games this week?
No, because it's been Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
The
So I
next
think
weekend,
beginning
next
you
2 weeks
have-
is the next session.
Mm. And when does how long is each session? Is it like a week? Well, not a week. 6 weeks. Month?
So structurally speaking, the session is such that. What? Let's take a look. The sessions are currently structured such that you have a 2-week window in which to plan your games. And you need to schedule 4 games to be played during that window, and it's up to the players to come up with a reasonable schedule, and stuff like that. So, yeah, so the dates were all given at the beginning of the season.
So the players have to schedule their own games with each other?
Yes. There are some tools to help with scheduling, but overall, yeah, it's up to you and the other 3 players to find a time during the 2-week window, or times if you want to break it up, when you can play your 4 games.
That's quite tough. How's that been managed? Is there I don't know, what's the dynamic? I'm interested.
So at the beginning, so here's what's happened. At the beginning of the season, we're told the first 5 groups, like all the groups get set up at the beginning of the season. So we know our first 5 play groups to begin with. And we have the ability to schedule games at any time. Most of the time, as soon as the 2-week window begins, someone's been like, okay, here's my times, here's my window. We'll use when is good or something like that to be like, when are we available? And we'll just find a window and we'll play. I know I haven't found it to be particularly challenging because there is a
That's
pretty
good to hear.
the 2 week.
I mean, but do you have people? I mean, that's always the issue in America, though, right? Is that the time zones are so wide. It's such a big
There are some
concept.
nice scheduling tools that let you put an alarm in the thing that's time zone that gives you the time in the right time zone,
But you
and
always
stuff like that.
someone's if you've got someone who's on the East Coast, someone's on the West Coast, someone's going to have to play in the morning,
Or evening.
Yeah, well, I mean, just
6 o'clock to 9 o'clock isn't that big of a. Yeah, I mean this I think this is an unavoidable problem.
no, I'm not saying that you can
Yeah.
magically make it go away. I'm just curious to coming from a small island, these problems don't touch my life.
True.
So,
But I don't know. I again at some point it's like you have to draw a line at some point about what you expect of people, and I don't think it's irrational to be like, I'm going to give you 5 2-week periods. Please schedule like an hour or two during this 2-week period to participate in the league you signed up for. Like
no,
I don't
not at
know. And
No,
I know
I
some
agree.
people do have difficult schedules,
Yeah.
but like I just if you I don't know. It's tough because I've heard some complaints about this. I think in Scuttlebutt out in the universe. I've just heard some complaints like, oh, it's really hard for people who don't have regular 9 to 5 jobs to schedule the thing, and they don't know when they're free, and blah blah blah. And the problem that I have is like, it runs into that like, yes, but so what? Like,
I mean,
and when I say yes, but so what, that sounds meaner than I mean it. But it's like, look, I want to run a tournament. I can get the tournament to run on Saturday and Sunday, these dates. You could give me the same thing. Oh man, those dates are really hard for so and so. Those dates are really hard for people who are going to be here. Those dates are really hard for people who plan a vacation. And at some point, I have to say, I'm sorry. The tournament, like, there's no way to be literally accessible to literally every person, literally all the time. It can't happen. And to say,
it's a more difficulty as well as more people have ended up in the gig economy or shift working. It is tough, I think.
I recognize that, but the challenge is, if you want fixed games with fixed players, they need to be able to make a fixed schedule. Otherwise, it can't happen.
Even sound sorry, like.
No. I mean, the thing is, I feel personally bad because it's not my job to exclude people, but I've gotten over being sorry because there will always be that one guy who's unhappy. There will always be someone who can't make it, and that sucks, and that's bad. And what you want to make sure is not the case. You don't want it to be the same people every time. You don't want every event to structurally exclude the same group of people every time. That's bad. That's where you're doing something wrong. But yeah, guess what? If you want to be in a league with other people, you have to be able to show up to the. I mean, look at JPML. JPML has a league. The league is at the place at the time, and you show up or you don't. And if you can't show up, they don't. It's not that they hate you. It's not that they think you're a bad person. But showing up at the place at the time is the requirement.
Yeah.
And there are other things you can do if you can't do it. And like and yeah. Like, at some point, you're gonna for holiday season. I think they gave people extra leeway for holiday season. I think the holiday session, like the whole week of Thanksgiving, was just considered off. So the holiday season, they had a concession. It's true though. Like next week,
what are you doing for Thanksgiving, Dave? What are you doing?
I did nothing for Thanksgiving. I did absolutely nothing.
Oh, has Thanksgiving been and gone?
Yeah, it was 2 days ago.
Wait, was there a Super Bowl? Is that a thing you do around Thanksgiving?
Was there a Super Bowl? I don't know. No, the Super Bowl happened already, didn't it?
Man, I have no idea about your American things. Usually, I feel like it must have been quite muted then, because usually, you see it on social media, all of the excitement of I'm going to eat turkey and celebrate.
I think actually a lot of the American folks aren't here today because they're doing Thanksgiving family stuff, which God bless them. That's a great thing to do. But yeah, like I think it is good to be aware of the fact that people have different types of schedules, and it's good to pay attention to that and to try to make sure they can be included. But at some point, you just have to say this league is reasonable for a large group of people, and we're just going to run the league. And again, how much do you bend over backwards to make absolutely sure that literally every person can attend your event? Because if you try to do that, you won't have an event.
Well, I mean, I qualified for the IORMC and I couldn't attend because
and that sucks.
Life was in the way, and I just had to step out. So,
but it's going to happen. So again, if it's like every time the IRMC happens, they hold it at a time that excludes all the British players. Like, okay, that's a problem. That's a structural
They
problem.
do kind of, because they always hold it on that week where we have Bonfire Night.
What's Bonfire Night?
That's when we celebrate the Houses of Parliament not being blown up.
Oh, so not Bonfire Night.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Bonfire Night was originally a pagan event, and then we were like kind of bolted on some pro-government idea. No, well,
Yeah.
it's not pro-government. It's more anti-Catholic, right?
I mean,
It is a bit anti-Catholic. Anyway, yeah. So we have commented on that before, but even the Brits. I mean, what are you going to do? You know, it's an obscure holiday only on this tiny little rock. Can't make the rest of the world move it because we want to burn effigies of our politicians one night.
Ooh. Dude, tiles burn if you douse them in gasoline.
Did we burn Guy Fawkes alive? I thought we just executed him in the normal way. We're like, yay, capital punishment. I think the bonfire though itself is not is actually like there's an original, there's a more historic tradition, and then it's all sort of shifted around a bit like Christmas, right? And bringing trees in. It's not really much to do with Jesus or anything like that.
Oh no, you have an unhappy.
Yeah, sorry, my
Oh, you don't have to apologize. It's life. I'm sad. I'm sad. They're sad.
Oh no, this is like every night before bedtime. It's just a meltdown. I don't know why. He'll be once soon though. So
but, we can also talk a little bit about environment. Is something I did want to mention. And again, I'm gonna bookend this by saying I overall think Armo is a good thing that's being done. I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that goes into running it. I think there's a few things that need to be. I think there's a few things that are challenging, and I think one of them is the no Toby rule. And I feel like there's a few different ways you can look at this. The bad thing that happens when you don't end the game when someone busts is kind of what happens this game and kind of what happens in other games where, and you'll see this if you go through the games, this happens sometimes, is one player does real bad. And possibly by doing real bad, they start doing real worse. Because now they have to swing for the fences to make anything up at bare minimum. If not, they're just frustrated and playing poorly. And you end up with someone who ends up with 80,000 points like I do. No Yakuman, no special event. They just kept hoovering points out of the one player who was in a bad way. And now they get a massive boost in the standings. And everyone else is like, oh, or maybe even negative Uma because they happen to not win any big hands. And it's like, it's a weird situation, and it would be stopped. The maximum amount of points you could extract would be stopped if players ended the game when bankrupt. So that's the pro-bankruptcy argument. The anti-bankruptcy argument, I think, generally is targeting. You get into situations where players will target a specific player at the table, or, trying to bump them off. And is it fair that because, I have Captain Deal in at my table, I don't get the opportunity to win points because they quickly blew all their points and ended the game early? Or are you going to get people deliberately ending the game early? They're like, oh, this is going terribly for me. I'm just going to deal in and end the game now because I don't want it to keep going. It's challenging. The game end condition if a player reaches a certain threshold. Even again, the challenge with that always comes up where it's like, why did the game end? Why did I lose the ability to gain points just because of what happened with someone else's points? And in a league situation, I can see the validity of that thought.
Yeah, that would be like, if you lost the potential to get into second place, that would be hard.
Yeah, like saying, oh, well, first place just won so much that I just got locked into third because I wasn't allowed to continue playing and lost my second dealership because first place did so well. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't leave me with a good, fair feeling. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say, like, I think busting should happen because that's the best thing and that's the right thing, but I will say it is a little frustrating watching people get these huge games because they happen to be sat at the table with someone who just handed their points out for 8 hands. But what do you do? It's life.
Yeah, I mean, Mahjong is, it is a game with a lot of unfairnesses.
Losing because first did well instead of because fourth messed up. It's true that in theory, if I'm fourth and I mess up real hard, um,
Do you change
then
the your starting wind each game? And is it randomized?
it's randomly assigned each game. It's randomly assigned each game. But or is it assigned? I actually should check. It's possible it actually rotates. I don't know.
I hope it doesn't rotate. I hate that.
I feel like it's always different for me. But either way, like, but even if it's cumulative score across multiple games, the problem is you're very incentivized to swing big because the UMA is fairly low. It's 515. It's not a huge UMA. And the underwater nature of it means being above 30k is really important. So everyone's, no one's getting like a plus minus 0 game by hanging out at 25. If you're second place at 25, you're now minus 5. And I think that's a big difference. I actually think that's a big... Not only you minus 5, but first place is plus an additional 5.
Yes, there's a 10 difference between the two of you.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like that structure really encourages people to swing really hard for the fences all the time. Because the bigger they go, the better they do. And I also think the challenge here is that there are many different attitudes you can take towards Mahjong, and a league should be a long-term patience attitude that you're taking towards Mahjong. Like, in a league, you care about placement in the game, but you almost only care about each hand. Like, you almost only care about, like, if you overall play each hand as best you can, you'll probably get done what you need to do, and then the second layer on top of that is what do I need to do here and now in this game, which is also important, but I guess the key thing I'm trying to say is it takes a lot of patience. And, for example, in the game we reviewed, we had a player who... effectively, their story arc over the game is they dealt into a Yakuman, they scrabbled 12,000 points back together, they dealt into a dealer Mongon, and then they ended at negative 600 or so. That is a rough time. That feels like garbage. And like, okay, the first thing is you just got to have that happen to you a few times. I've had that happen to me. It sucks, and it feels bad. And the thing I always tell people is, if you got 4 of the greatest Mahjong players together at a table and one of them won a Yakuman, how do you think they won it? Probably through one of the other greatest Mahjong players at the table dealing into them. Like, it will happen. And it's okay. And the best thing you can do is look back at your discards and say, like, did I do anything foolish? And the answer might be yes, in which case you learn from it. The answer might be no, in which case it just happened. You got struck by lightning. That's Mahjong. And you have to be able to, like, accept that. And I think a lot of times, like with just time and play and experience, you do learn to be a little more ice cold about those things and to be a little more like, all right, hey Gemma, remember that game where I dealt into the dealer Baimon on the first hand in Europe?
Yeah.
Remember that dumb game where I was dumb and I did like a Footy 10 reach because I managed my hand incredibly stupidly, and I was just like, this is real dumb. And then I played the rest of the hand with my dumb Footy 10 reach. And then at the end, on the last tile, it was, I think, a 9-man, and I threw it, and the dealer was like, Ron, full flush, like, it was like a fully concealed full flush that this lady had put together painstakingly over the course of the hand, and it had, like, 3 Dora in it. It was some incredibly dumb hand. It was just a dealer Baimon that I just got face wrecked into game 1 of the tournament through my own idiocy.
Yeah.
And she was at that table with me. She was at that table with me, and she laughed and laughed and laughed. But, like, yeah, did that feel good? No, it felt
we've all
bad.
been there, surely. We've all been there.
It immediately feels bad. It feels bad and shameful and humiliating, and I felt dumb and I felt awful. I felt that. Those were my feelings. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend I'm some kind of, like, ice cold man who doesn't have feelings. Yeah, it felt shitty. I congratulate you, but again, first, I congratulated her on her great hand. It was a great hand. You gotta be a good sport. You gotta be a good sport. We all win sometimes, we all lose sometimes. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be positive. So I congratulated her on her great hand, and I felt real dumb for a while, and you know what? It fades. The scar lasts. But the feeling fades, and it's okay. You will win some, you will lose some. But the key thing, and this is the hard part, the key thing is after the easy part is handing the points over, and the easy part is feeling like garbage. The hard part is the next hand. The hard part is sitting down, flipping up those tiles, and getting your head back on straight to play this hand as best you can. No fears, no memories, no ghosts. You got to get back to it. And that's I'm not saying I'm magically awesome at that either. That's the challenge. That's the challenge. That's why I always say Mahjong is a battle with yourself. That's the part where you battle with yourself. The part where it's like, okay, next hand time. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to look at this hand. I'm going to get back in my game, and I'm going to do the best I can. And that's hard. That's the thing that people need to learn. And when you don't get that way, you start getting weird and panicky and making a little one-hand hand because I just got to win something. I just got to turn my luck around. I just got to move the game on. I just got to something. And you make decisions that aren't really very optimal.
Mm.
And I think league play is somewhere where you are exercising that to some degree. You are exercising regularity. I'm going to play a hand. 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 And the hope is by improving your skill at playing a hand, you'll perform better in the league. And I think a challenge. I'm monologuing about this. I think a challenge that we have in Armel is that we have a lot of players who are newer and who are still developing that skill. And so you get a lot of people who get very aggressive, very quick, very like, I just got to go. And call, go. And before they know it, it's like, it's South Third. Everyone's one hand Tanyao hand. So everyone's within 1,000 points of each other. And then dealer Sumo Zamaga. And it's like, oh, how and why did that happen? It happened because people weren't playing their hands as best they can. They were playing very quickly. They were playing very emotionally.
Yeah.
But
it's a struggle, I think, especially because Armel's there. They're doing a great outreach program, right? They're trying to bring more people into the league, which means you're going to have a wider range of not just skills, but people have been in different environments, whether that be Mahjong Soul, whether they're used to Tenho, whether they're used to real tile play, and those are quite different environments, and encourage different levels of aggression.
Yeah, I think that's, and I think it's an also interesting change in attitude a bit, because I feel like for some environments, and maybe this is something I'm just kind of thinking of on Contraflow. Jesus Christ. This is just one of those things that I think of in my head, and it's like easy versus bad, good feeling versus bad feeling, candy versus vegetables, right? And I feel like it's easy to play for good feelings. It's fun to play for good feelings. Nothing wrong with playing for good feelings, right? You want to sit down, you want to play Mahjong, you want to do the things you think are fun, you want to call, you want to con, you want to get the lucky flip, you want to feel good about it, you want all those good feelings. But I feel like, and maybe this is me being a cranky old man, if what you want to do is strive to be excellent at Mahjong, you are not eating candy anymore, you're eating vegetables. You need to work on discipline and internalization and a little bit of math and all the things you need to make sure you are keeping yourself steady and playing to the best of your ability again and again and again repeatedly in a consistent manner. And that's discipline. That's work. That's like weightlifting. That's like something, something where it's not easy. I mean, people get, and you can get good feelings. People get great feelings out of weightlifting. Weightlifters who are good at weightlifting love what they do and they enjoy the feeling of success and progress that they make. But a lot of people, if you sat them down at a weight bench, you're going to be like, wow, this sure is difficult and uncomfortable. I'm not getting a good feeling out of this and I don't like it. And to some degree, first of all, that's fine. Maybe weightlifting is not your hobby. Maybe serious, improvement style, league style, discipline Mahjong isn't what you like. Maybe you like playing fun, light, easy Mahjong, and that's awesome. And I will never say that's not a valid thing to do. But I think it's like you have to be aware that that's the gear shift you're making when you come into a scenario like a league scenario is you're here with people who want to improve. You're here to be trying to improve. And maybe you're at the gym, and maybe it's something you have to differentiate. Maybe you're at the gym just to stay healthy. You like playing Mahjong. You want to play some more Mahjong. You're not really here to do serious improvement, but you want to do something. I've been monologuing for a while, Gemma. You say about
that's fine. But I think it's partly the culture which can be created by the league. I will just make one comment, and I think I'm going to use Fight Club as an example for this. If you've ever sat down at a Fight Club machine, it's got the lights and the bells, and it's like buzzing music at you if you do something, and you get a really good feeling from pressing that reach button because the lights come up and then the machine's doing all these noises and it's rumbling at you, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to press the reach button. Is that a way to play good mahjong. No. It's fun, but I'm not saying the Mahjong Fight Club players are bad players, not at all. But there is always that risk when you are going to, when you exclusively play on Mahjong portals that reward you with good feelings that don't come from the tiles, but come from the graphics or the noise or the flair. If you are getting good feelings from the flair, you are not playing good Mahjong.
You can do both.
I'm always fearful when people are exclusively playing on a very
flashy client.
A flashy client where that is the selling point.
I agree, Kyrell. Yeah, there's nothing wrong at all with someone who's interested. They show up, they have fun, they're just playing, and they're playing however they want to play. And someone who's trying to be competitive and be in the top league is a little more different. It's different, and I think one of the challenges that people are. Flash, yes, Bion. I want to just like awesome discard top stats. Like I want to see that. Okay, like.
Oh my god, you read that flush hand so quick.
Yes, sick. I love that. But yeah, and I think part of the challenge, especially for new players in Armel, is you all get dumped into the same place. You all get dumped into B3, and in an environment full of players just noodling around to have fun, it's challenging actually to come out on top. It's challenging to be competitive and succeed in that environment. It's almost like a different skill to win in those types of environments than it is to win in an environment where everyone's playing a very disciplined game. I think frankly, my counterpoint is always a good player can win. Like if you're really good, you should be able to get into that environment and still come out well. As I've proven in Armel by just winning a bunch of Yakuman, which is how I use my skill.
It's garbage.
To get to the top. You just win a whole bunch of Yakuman, that's what you do. Just don't stop winning Yakuman.
Oh my god, I want to play this game, Tetsuya.
Oh, luck stat. Yeah, it would increase your DK depending on your hand. That's actually kind of clever. I kind of like that idea that if you're always using maximum tile efficiency, the game is just has this feedback loop where you just win forever and it's fine. Because it's like...
Yeah, things like, oh god, what's the little iPhone game with the what's that one called? Oh, no, it's gone from my mind. The animal one. Yes. See, that's that's an attractive game, but it doesn't seem too flary to me. Do you know what I mean? I think when clients are starting to borrow from slot machines to engage a player, you've got risks. Not risks as in to your health, but you've got risks to your gameplay because those tricks are there to keep you playing, to engage you. They're not really to make you better.
That is, I think that definitely is the challenge. But again, like I'm very willing to accept the fact, 'cause I don't want to be some elitist jerk. He said as an elitist jerk, but like I don't want to be some elitist jerk who's like only the best Mahjong players, and everyone should always be only trying to get the best Mahjong. Yeah, me personally, I want to climb that mountain. But some people don't. Like some people, they're just really happy just playing, just throwing tiles around, just having a good time with their friends. And I want to be clear, like that's cool, that's fun, have fun.
I like doing both.
Please enjoy Mahjong.
I do like doing both, but there's time and place for each one, Yeah. Anyway, Dave, we've made our 2 hours.
We've made our time. We've made our 2 hours. We gave you back
the
time.
What do we do next week?
I know we can review a game where I lost. Do you like talking about me losing?
Do you like talking about you losing? Okay, let's one of us try to find a good game to talk about next week.
Dave is minorly salty. He's not. To be fair, I joined this season, so like everyone else who joined this season, I'm in B3, which is totally fair. There's not really a good way to I don't think there's a fair or good way to seed things. And let people do. I may or may not get there. We'll see. I've already factored out, though. I feel good about my performance because even if the average of my remaining 8 games is like -20, I'll still end the league positive. And really, that's usually my benchmark for myself, by the way, at tournaments and leagues and stuff. It's like, I should be positive. If I'm not positive, I'm upset with myself and I feel like I've done poorly. If I'm positive, I feel like I'm okay and sure, maybe I can improve, but like I've done all right. And usually, to be honest, my arc usually ends up being like second place forever. Like I usually just kind of like cruise gently upwards over the course of the event by like getting second and generally not losing. Although my ARML experience, I have had an interesting time. I lost real hard at the very beginning. My first game was like a -40, and it was rough. We can talk about all that later too. My weird stats in Armal, because I made a round Payco, and that's the
I
best.
want to see them next week.
Okay, we'll take a look at them. But thank you all for joining us.
Thank
What
you.
is the streaming policy for Run 2? Can Dave just get up and stream a live game? If I recall properly, the streaming policy is that I have to have a delay and I have to obscure the names of the other players.
I don't think we have to obscure the names anymore. I'll double check. I don't think
let's
we
see.
have to. But I
I'll
do
happily
think
play Run 2.
I do think you have to have a delay.
Okay.
Have you got an account on Run now?
I've had an account on Run I've been a Run subscriber since like 2010.
Well, you won't be anymore. Check your
What?
credit card.
Does
No,
he
when
not
they
want
moved,
my money?
no, when they moved over, they stopped taking everyone's money because they decided not to defraud people.
Fair. But I'll set it back up. Yeah, we could do live streaming Mahjong Baka if you want to do that. We can happily do that. I like playing on Run 2. You can all watch me lose. Or win. Or lose.
We always managed to make it circular. It's very impressive. That's why we couldn't sign off until we found it back to the beginning.
It's true. Yeah, we did fraud. We can get back to fraud. It's one of those weird words where like nude and denude. Like they both mean the same thing. Why do we put a D in front of it? Because it's the same thing. Yeah, I was thinking she's using her knowledge of all English. Do you know?
Yeah, I was thinking there's that other one that I really hate about flammable stuff.
Flammable and inflammable. Oh yeah, she lost network connectivity a little bit. Yeah, flammable and inflammable are exactly the same. They mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, I hate that. I've always hated that.
Yeah, it's inflamed because it's inflamed.
Yeah,
that's a good mnemonic. So yeah, I'm also going to do some tech work on the chat this week if I can. I've had a lot of stuff going on. We have some things that are going to be a little exciting. I'm going to remind everyone before we go. We will be at PAX Unplugged. I'm going to be doing more posting about this. So you'll get our booth number, which is... Actually, I should have our booth number somewhere, shouldn't I?
Wait, when is that? Is that next week?
It's this coming weekend.
I might not be able to stream this weekend.
I will not be able to stream.
I don't know. I'll have to come back to you.
I'm going to be in Florida this coming weekend. There's a long story we can talk about.
Okay,
that.
so you won't see us next week.
might not be able to stream this next week because of PAX Unplugged and because of this trip. But PAX Unplugged, go there, Philadelphia, if you can. We are booth number 3923. I'm going to be advertising it in the next day or two, so join us. And otherwise, thank you for joining us today for the stream. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Live stream from PAX.
Thank you.
It's tricky, because I won't be there. But maybe. We'll see. Anyway, thanks, everybody. And we'll see you all soon, I guess. Maybe we could find a day next week to do it. Maybe we'll do it. Anyway, good night, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Oh, my connection. What's the matter with my connection? You suck.